Good afternoon, everybody. Again. May the 4th be with you. Luke, Trump is your daddy. So, I'm back here because, as you can see in black bold on the bottom of the screen, the Smith-Mundt Act. I didn't talk about that earlier. But, I'm also going to talk about Cinco de Mayo. Because Trump is very intrigued with Cinco de Mayo. And we got a lot supposed to be happening starting tomorrow and the rest of this week. Okay? A lot of indictments coming. Joe DeGenova's in Florida working hard. Todd Blanche and Kash Patel are in D.C. working hard. They're about to blow the lid off of a lot of stuff, guys. You have no idea what's about to happen. But if you are part of the 17 movement, where we go one, we go all. If you're part of that movement, you know what a delta is. And there are a lot of deltas for today that were from 5 years ago. Actually 6, 2020. And there's even bigger ones tomorrow. Now, I'm not going to read them because I don't want to get on into that and I don't want to confuse my audience. I'm aware of it. I follow the where we go one, we go all movement. I'm all about it. And it's just scary how all that stuff comes to fruition when they wrote it 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. It's crazy. But I'm going to save y'all from that, okay? I simply want to say that I believe in my heart of hearts that we are about to witness a crazy week. Now, tonight, Trump is going to have his briefing from the White House. I believe it's going to be happening here, 6:30 or so? I'm not sure, but we shall see. Now, I'm excited about that because they're already touting that, Iran's buckled at the knees and they're begging all this stuff, but I'm not going to believe it until I actually see it happening, okay? Now, maybe Iran maybe it's finally crippled them. Losing over $15 billion in the last several weeks, maybe it finally crippled them. And their military and their police are probably tired of working without a paycheck. And maybe they've walked off the job. We don't know. Anyway, we want the Strait of Hormuz back open. We need our military back here. We need to get Cuba taken care of. Once we get Cuba taken care of, then we can work on Greenland and Canada. How you like that? Anyway, let's go over. You guys probably heard me talking when. Oh, wait a second. Hold on a second. Hold on just a minute. This is episode 20. My bad. You probably heard me talk when before the intro. There we go. Anyway, I'm going to change I've got 2 banners going at the same time. So we need to talk about the Smith-Mundt Act, and I'm going to kind of educate you guys a little bit about what that is, okay? I prefer this one. Anyway, let's go over that. So I'm going to share the screen. Share my screen. We're going to go over this one first. Hopefully I can read this to you guys. All right. So, Smith-Mundt Act of 2012, modernization. The Smith-Mundt Act, formerly the U.S. Information Educational Exchange Act of 1948, was enacted in 48 to promote U.S. understanding abroad and regulate the dissemination of materials produced for foreign audiences. It originally banned domestic distribution of such materials, even if they were produced by government-funded outlets like Voice of America. In 2012, this act was introduced in the House as H.R. 5736 by Reps Adam Smith, Democrat of Washington, and Mac Thornberry, Republican of Texas. Ooh, bipartisan. and later became the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2013. All domestic dissemination of materials produced for foreign audiences by the U.S. Agency for Global Media and the Broadcasting Board of Governors upon request and reimbursement of reasonable costs. Key points. Applies only to U.S. government-funded international broadcasters, not to independent or privately owned media. I'll get to the importance of this right in a few minutes, okay? No change to U.S. International Broadcasting Act remains authorized to produce content for foreign agencies only. To increase transparency and accessibility of publicly funded international media and to respond to domestic requests for such content. The law took effect July 2nd, 2013. Okay? The common misconception with this act is made it legal for the media to lie or allowed U.S. government propaganda in the U.S. These are false. The act does not authorize the permanent private media to disseminate false information. It only changes rules for U.S. government-funded international media to be shared domestically under specific conditions. That is not correct. Okay, so we're going to come back here. I'm going to remove this. We're going to remove it. I'm going to go back and share. We're going to share, y'all. Oh, I need to get me back here. Sorry. You see me. You just see my Hola America. Here we go. Share. All right. Now, did Barack Obama do that? Fact check. Did Barack Obama sign a law that allows the media to purposely lie to the American people? An image shared on Facebook claims former President Barack Obama signed a law in 2012 that made it perfectly legal for the media to purposely lie to the American people. Okay? Thanks to Obama, it is perfectly legal for the media to purposely lie to the American people. He quietly signed the law, H.R. 4310, in 2012, allowing propaganda to be used on U.S. citizens of the U.S. by its own government, essentially repealing the Smith Act of 1948, banning the use of domestic propaganda. All right. Fact check. The claim that Obama signed a law making it perfectly legal for the media to purposely lie to the American people has circulated since at least 2019 and recently resurfaced on social media. All right. Thanks to Obama, blah, blah, I read that. H.R. 4310 refers to the National Defense Authorization Act of 2013, a bill that outlined the budget and expenditures for Department of Defense for that year. Obama signed into law in January 2013, according to the White House press release. A search of the law's text turned up no clause about traditional private news organizations can or cannot publish. Traditional private news, not the government used. It did not make it legal for independent, privately owned media organizations where most Americans get their news to purposely lie, as the post inaccurate suggests. Now, where is it at? It said that it mentions nothing about making it legal for private claims that since Obama perfectly legal for he quietly signed the law in 2013. It's actually 2013, not 2012. He signed the law. Okay. The post is likely references a change in legislation for the U.S. Agency for Global Media Broadcast News and Information about the United States and the world to audiences abroad. Was banned from being disseminated in America. The act did not make it legal for independent, privately owned media organizations where most Americans get their news to purposely lie as a post. But CBS and them are not, maybe they are privately owned. Perhaps they are privately owned. Let me see here. Facts about the Smith Modernization Act. The U.S. Agency for Global Congressman Adam and Thornberry. Okay, so it doesn't say here. When I read it earlier, it did say that he did sign it. It was signed and interpreted for them to be able to tell us little white lies. Now, here's the problem that I have with this, guys. And I want to remove this. Put me back. Here's the problem that I have with the Smith-Mundt Act. Ever since Barack Obama was in office, we were not told the truth. Okay? This law, in my opinion, I believe, has been bent a little bit to allow them to bold face lie. Now, if we get it repealed, if and we've seen many a post from Trump saying, please go back and reenact it. Go back and reenact it to force them to be able to tell the truth on what's going on. Like, for instance, they're saying we are losing the war in Iran badly. They are kicking our ass over there. They have no Navy or Air Force. They can't get their oil to the Strait of Hormuz. We've only lost soldiers because of friendly fire. So where are they kicking our ass? The economy is tanking. Where? Oh yes, prices are up, but jobs are up. Inflation is down, but prices are still up. Because why? Because we are being gouged by companies like Walmart and Target and all those others, which is why Todd Blanche came out and said these meat companies selling pork and chicken and sausage must get their prices back in line with the inflation in the economy because they are gouging the American people. Now, that doesn't include red meat. That must be a whole different type of animal. Well, it is. A chicken, pig, or you got a cow. You know what I'm talking about. So he came out and said they need to start lowering the prices, which I agree. They need to. All right? We've been hoodwinked by Walmart saying the tariffs are killing them. No. They're making money. If you see their third and fourth quarter earnings from last year, they are making double the money hand over fist because they are gouging us, the American people, to believe, those of you who watch the lamestream media, and you're being told and you're being brainwashed that everything in this country is bad. Just like when we were told when Biden was in office, we had $6 a gallon of gas, that's what it is in California, that everything in the economy was good and that he was a smart person and that he was sane and he was able to do things and talk to leaders and walk upright and not fall upstairs or off bicycles or over sandbags. He was able to talk and read the teleprompter without saying period, end of sentence. You said he was perfectly mentally stable when you knew he wasn't, and you're being sued for that. Kamala and everybody else in the administration that lied, that said he was a beast in the Situation Room. He had his stuff going on. The old Biden, the Biden before this clone, the Biden that was vice president the Biden before then was a beast. Very intelligent. This clone, this actor they got to play him as president was stupid. And you believe that. You believe that. When jobs were lost and they said, oh, we've gained jobs. When the inflation was up, said, oh, inflation is down. You didn't complain about gas prices then, did you? But you complain about it now. So the Smith-Mundt Act, even though, and this is Google, so I'm going to say, I see why Google's not telling me the truth. I need to go to like DuckDuckGo. Look up the Smith-Mundt Act. Go into your social media and have people talk about the Smith-Mundt Act. It keeps everybody supposed to keep the privately owned in check. But the privately owned, these aren't privately owned. These are conglomerates. They aren't little like NPRs or Politicos. They're conglomerates owned by huge corporations. But they still tell stories. They're still allowed to lie. Remember how they said Trump was losing on election night in 2020? We went to bed and he was ahead in all the swing states, and we wake up the next morning and he's losing in all of them? Remember how you guys called him early? You called the race for him early. Remember that? You've told story after story after story, ABC, NBC, especially CNN. CNN and MSNBC are the worst. They are the worst at telling the lies. And they can be debunked. So, President Trump has gotten many requests to have the Smith-Mundt Act reinstated to make them honorable. But, one of Trump's largest donors bought CNN, and that baby's gonna whip up. It's gonna take shape pretty soon. It's not gonna lie anymore. They're not going to sit there and tell you about the corona and how it was accidentally released, which we know it wasn't, and how the vaccines were working when they're not. They're killing more than helping more. You ever heard of myocarditis? Myocarditis, look it up. How many people are getting the boosters? Look up myocarditis. They're having to recall some of the, Fauci and them are in trouble. That might be the big thing tomorrow with Fauci and Adam Schiff getting indicted because they lied about the corona and where it came from. And he instructed them to lie about it and delete the emails and all the evidence. He should be charged with mass murder. So it's going to be a crazy week this week, I believe, in my opinion, kicking off tomorrow with Cinco de Mayo. But we've got to get these television news companies, and they're losing ratings. I mean, they're losing crazy. Greg Gutfeld on Fox like doubles and triples the nighttime talk show hosts and these lamestream media outlets every day. Every Fox show and OAN and Newsmax outperform just about every show on those lamestream medias at the same time. Because people are getting weary of hearing the same shit over and over. They want real news. They crave real news. Maybe people are waking up. I don't know. But all I know is that the Smith-Mundt Act has to get reinstated because Obama did sign it in 2013. The way that interpreted, they said he signed it, but it was not meant for the media. There are loopholes to get around that. It was only meant for the privately owned. No. It was meant for the privately owned not to tell lies. No, it was meant for the big conglomerates to tell lies and the little ones not to tell lies. That's the way it is. Not the big ones not to tell lies and the little ones can tell lies. No, the other way around. That's the way it was interpreted. That's why there was never any bad press under Obama. There was never any press about the palace of cash going to Iran and about him making deals and giving secret money to Iran and allowing Hillary to sell uranium to Russia, which in turn sold it to Iran, selling arms to China, which in turn sold it to Iran, and uranium. They didn't talk about that because that's what Obama did. Obama wanted to arm Iran to the teeth to be able to attack us during the Hillary Clinton 8 years and take us over. We know Obama is Kenyan. We know he's Muslim. And whether you like it or not, I'm probably going to get taken off all my stations and lose my podcast, but that's the truth. You can't look at him and say he's not of that nationality. You can't look and hear the clips of him saying, not once did John Cain talk about my Muslim faith. And then Brett Barry goes, no, Christian faith. Oh, yeah, my Christian faith. Not one time. Oh, I'm the first president not to be American born. They all know I was born in Kenya. Your daddy was born in Kenya. Barry Soretto. Do you understand that? He looped it to his advantage to where the big ones could lie and the little ones could not lie. And you can tell me different. I know you out there. I know you out there that are watching me. I know you're going to push back on it. Well, push back all you want, baby. Push back all you want. Because the fact of the matter is, your mainstream media outlets, they lie. Even mine do too. Not as much as yours, but they lie. You are so freaking brainwashed with your Anderson Cooper head so far up your ass that you can't see anything. You can't see or know the difference because you're so brainwashed. It doesn't matter what President Trump does. He can go out there and save a baby in the ocean, and you're going to complain that he's starving the sharks. This guy can't win with you guys because you're so steadfast and you've got such Trump derangement syndrome that you can't see beyond. I'm wide awake. You're not. You're woke. I can see when somebody's destroying a country. Barry, 8 years. ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Taliban, Antifa, Black Lives Matters, defund the police, hate the police. It's all built under Barry. All built under Barry. Hussein. You can't deny that. Biden leaving $85 billion of military equipment, brand new, in Afghanistan for the Taliban and Al-Qaeda to have a parade and show it off. Inside job, planned, per Barry. And now, Barry's going behind our back. Hold on a second. Barry's going behind our back, meeting with NATO, telling if we withdraw, he'll make sure that the next Democratic candidate that cheats to get in, will reinstate NATO. Why? Because they all get money from NATO, guys. You do not understand. Every president, from Carter to Biden, including, not Carter, Ford, from Gerald Ford, pedophile, all the way to Biden, including Carter, we're in bed with NATO and getting money off of it. So we have to send our troops, and we got to pay to send them over there. We got to give you money to protect you. Doesn't work that way. Every one of them got a kickback. You got a kickback from China and Russia and the Congo and all the other kind of countries. We talked about it in my first podcast today. Ukraine's being investigated for taking the money that was given to them for the war, sending it back to the DNC and USAID and most likely Act Blue to put back into Democratic candidate funds to campaign against us. That's the DNC's responsibility. Like the RNC raises their money, the DNC should raise theirs on money. But they didn't, because they used USAID and Act Blue and SPLC to give the money to campaign and launder it. Which is why SPLC got 11 indictments today in Florida in the Southern District Court. USAID, if they haven't already, will be, and Act Blue. Those are the Act Blue's coming up next. That's going to be a kicker, y'all. That's going to be hook, line, and sinker. And you're going to realize just how crooked the Democratic Party really is. Whether you want to believe it or not. This is not John Kennedy's Democratic Party. It's not. They had him pew-pewed. Because he was not like them. He wasn't part of the establishment like Trump. They didn't like him. He was going after the blue and white country. And the blue and white country said, Psst. Charlie Kirk was going after the blue and white country. Blue and white country said, Psst. Donald Trump's going after the red. No, the blue and white donkey in this country. And they say, which I talked about that in my first podcast. I reviewed the tape of Cole Allen. It was either an inside job or the Secret Service is feckless, helpless, lazy, and stupid, or was a combination of both. Because we went through it and showed the dog alerted twice to the cop. And the cops watched him go out of the aisle, had to watch him take his jacket off and run toward him and walked away. He comes through, doesn't release the dog. He shoots the Secret Service officer on the left of the screen with buckshot that somehow gets up underneath his jacket, which doesn't make sense to me. It's buckshot. It's not a bullet. How did it get up under there? And that service agent gets off 3 shots without hitting anybody in the back or the Secret Service agent over there. Put any slugs in the wall 3 times at close range and missed. I call bullshit. Those are blanks in that gun. Why are they taking down those frames? Why aren't they standing there? Why isn't that door in that hallway closed? They're already up in the ballroom. Why didn't they have all those doors locked? Chained. And not allow him to come in. The hallway he came down, then he went in there, took his jacket off, comes out all loaded up. Why didn't they have that hallway blocked? Nobody further this way. Sorry. The balls are, it's already started. Can't come this way. They didn't. They had wide open gaps because it was an inside job. It was a freaking inside job. And the Secret Service team needs to be fired. And Trump needs to hire his own private military Secret Service team. His own protection. Because these guys are going to wind up getting him pew-pewed. For real. For real. Anyway, Smith-Mundt Act is a fraud of a bitch. And the media needs to be held accountable for all their fucking lies. And I said it. Everything's a lie coming out of their mouth. If their mouth is running, it's a lie. They can't say anything good. Now, they'll show numbers and they'll hate it. They will hate looking at the numbers of the polls. And they're like, well, he's only got 25% rate. Where are you getting that from? Are you polling Democrats? Because some clips I've seen on CNN, he had 89% approval rating from Republicans for going into Iran. So where are you getting your ratings from? MSNBC? Huh? Where are you getting your ratings from? Are they asking 1,000 Democrats getting those ratings? Maybe 999 Democrats and one Republican? Maybe that's how they're getting it? But you want to believe it. So you do you, boo. You believe the shit you're getting served on the platter. And I hope you enjoy it. Because I'm a lot wiser than that. Oh, no, you aren't. Trump is bad. Trump is... Okay. All right. You believe what you want to believe. I believe what I want to believe. Okay? We can still be friends, but I don't want to hear bullshit. You want to leave a comment, leave a comment. But I don't have to respond. And I won't respond because I can't waste my time anymore with libertards crying. I can't. I got podcasts to make. I got t-shirts to make and get stuff. I got, candles to sell and coffee to sell and all other kinds of stuff to do on my affiliate marketing. I'm busy running a business. And then I run my mouth. But if you just want to sit and run your mouth all day long, go ahead. By all means, go ahead. Run your mouth all day long. Comment. But I don't have to listen. I'll read it, but I don't have to comment. So, tomorrow, I think starting tomorrow, we're going to have some big news. I think we're just going to have a heck of a day, guys. I think we're going to have a heck of a day. Starting tomorrow. And I hope y'all enjoy this second podcast. But I just had to come out and talk about that. And I'm sure a lot of you will agree with me that Barry did a lot of damage to this country. A lot. And he got away with a lot of crap. So did Biden. He was handled by kid gloves by the media. So was Biden. And he could say and do whatever he wanted to do. So did Biden. But Trump can't fart without somebody saying, oh, something wrong with his colon. Maybe he's got cancer. He farted. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening again. It's getting close to my dinner time and get ready for, you know what it is. It's Below Deck Monday. I'm excited. 30 minutes, guys. Thank you for spending time with me. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you tomorrow.